All right, everybody. I am live on this Monday, the 13th of January, and we're excited. We are going to have a special guest. I'm just waiting for her to come on, so I thought I would chat for a little bit. Uh, we met in October of 2018 at our national and annual convention. And then again, we connected up along the year up until the convention in 2019 at a couple of what we call road shows at the that our company puts on every well, last year actually was the first year, and we were on the stage together with a kind of a panel to answer questions and so forth. And it was amazing. And she has done some amazing things. She's one of these people that has excelled in everything that she's done. And I want you to hear her story. I'm just kind of waiting for her to come on here. And um, we will, when she gets on, I'm going to have her tell her story, a little bit about her story, and then answer a couple of questions for us. But she was one of the first people that in this past convention, they created the Seven Figure Club. And she was one of the people that was indoctrinated into the Seven Figure Club. Now, she's not at the highest rank in the company at this point, but she is still making seven figures of years. So we're pretty excited about having her on here today. This is, I think, a new system for her. So hopefully she'll uh, get the link and it'll be all okay. So um, I'm just making sure she's. So while we're waiting, for those of you, thank you so much for all your prayers. For those of you who were praying for us in this snowstorm that just hit, right now it's like the eye of the storm. We have this big lull, and so it looks nice out. It's cold, very cold. It's in the low 20s, or mid 20s, and you saw my video of the grandkids out there in a piled up. My wife made their own slope. Right, it was so much snow. She piled it up, and they were sledding off it and having an amazing, amazing time. So I'm not good at filling space sometimes. Hey, Stacy, Anna, Pat, good to see you. Lisa, Carlos, good to see you. I'm waiting to see if she's going to respond here. She's always very, very good. So it must be. I'm going to send her the link again just to make sure. So I think she should be jumping on here in a minute. So, Haley, Joe, good to see you. Good to see you. Tell us your story. My story is pretty simple. I started off in network marketing about 40 some years ago, back in the 70s. I was using network marketing. I discovered it. I'm from Michigan. So we had heard of kind of Amway, but I discovered network marketing when I was trying to supplement my income being in the military. We didn't get paid a whole lot back then. And so we were trying to do anything and everything. And when I found something that basically said, if I help enough people get what they want, I could have my own success, I thought, wow, how different is this than corporate America? And how much, and this is exactly what I was looking for, being able to go out and help, being able to go out and impact people's lives, being able to go out and do all these things that I wanted to do and get paid for it and have a good life. So I fell in love with it and decided that I was going to do everything I could to make this work over the years, and then I ended up with a career, and there was always those times when it wasn't, if it didn't work, it was okay because I was getting paid enough money with my career that it was okay. Yeah, John, I got a haircut and a trim a little bit. It's kind of unusual the first day. You're like, okay, where's all my hair? What's going on here? But in 2015, I retired. And so I started to really seriously say, okay, now I want to supplement my income a little bit more. And this became a new journey for me, if you will. My whole journey was, yeah, if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it was okay because I always had a job. Um, but now in 2015, I was thinking, okay, now I got to do something more. In 2017, I ended up having to have open heart surgery. And so that kind of set things back. And then 3 months after my open heart surgery in September of 2017, it failed. And I had a small heart attack and had to have stents put in and everything. So I didn't get introduced to this company that I'm with right now until May of 2018. And I had every reason not to do it. I had every reason in the world not to do it, and sit back and recuperate and so forth. But when I saw it and I took the free tour, I couldn't stand back. I couldn't let this go by. I saw something that I'd never seen before in 40 years of network marketing, and I just could not sit back and let it go. So I jumped in with both feet, and now here we are, 50K affiliate on our way to 100K affiliate, and just enjoying this and having a ball. So let me see if I can. So that is kind of my story. Thank you so much, Haley Joe. That is my story, and it's not one of those. There were times. Obviously, I can tell you all the financial difficulty we went through years ago when I lost my job, because the company, I came out here from Washington D.C. The company went under in D.C. I had the last contracts going on, and when those were done, the company dissolved, and I could either go back to DC or I could stay here. And we eventually lost our home, and it was some very, very tough times. But we came through it. God had His hand in our lives, and we came through it. And I ended up going back to work for corporate America again as a software engineer, and things were doing okay. We weren't making as much as we were before, but it was a good life. So you just don't know the path that you're going to be on and where you're going to go and what you're going to do, until you're there. And then you look back and you go, wow, now I understand why this all happened and so forth. So if you're in that place where you're trying to figure out exactly why, and you're where you're at and what's going on in your life, and wow, you need to get through it. You need to work your way through it. You need to do everything and anything and everything you can to learn as you go and get through this. And once you do that, then things will be, you'll get on the other side of something phenomenal. And that's what we've done. And we're still growing. We're still, every single day, we try to get better and better and better. And, you work, you grow, you do what you can to become a better person, to become a better you, to develop your skill sets, and to get better at what you're doing. So, yeah, we're still kind of waiting here for Ceally to join us. This is Ceally Smith. So while we're waiting, you're so welcome, Haley Joe. Thank you. I'm envious. You're in Hawaii and in my old stomping grounds, and I'm in the snow. So while we're waiting, does anybody have a question for me? Any kind of questions that you've got? Or we can have a sing along. No, we don't want to do sing along. I'm messaging her, and she should be jumping on. All right. How do you keep organized with all your prospects? Good question. And I know everybody does it different. Some people, they use paper notebooks. If you could see my side of my desk over here, my other part of my desk, I've got all kinds of books and things lined up here. For me, I use either my notepad on my Mac, um, which is typically what I use, or I do have a paper planner, and I've started this year using that. This was a gift from my upline. And I'm going to be going back a little bit to paper and writing things down. I've got a bad wrist, so it's a little bit hard to do that sometimes. But that's how I typically keep track of things. And with your team, how many team trainings do you do, and do you do small group trainings? Yes. I was doing, up until recently, I was doing one training a week for the team every Saturday morning. And then we would do small group trainings. If any of the leaders on the team had a group training that they wanted me to jump on, I would be more than happy to do that. But that's typically what we would do. Now I'm doing about 2 of the weekly trainings and then plugging everybody into Robert Hollis's training. So, can I move my genealogy around? No, I don't believe you can, John. Once someone has come in and upgraded to a paid affiliate, they're where they're at. Is there a presentation video besides the ones on the tour that you find to be a useful tool? In the past, I would use some of the old presentations, that maybe a webinar that was done or something that Robert had put together and so forth. But now I just don't know that there's anything better than those 4 videos. I mean, the name of the game is the one who can get the most pre-enrollees and get people in front of those. That's the to me are the best videos out there. Here's a 28-year-old kid that's taking a company to close to $300 million. So he's pretty credible. So. Let's see here. Here's John. So what's the best way to go about it when someone goes through the tour but keeps asking to explain everything? I had someone watch it like 3 times and just keep asking the same question. Video, explain everything. Do you think it's a language barrier? That's a hard one. I mean, if I get somebody, I don't have it very often, but if I get someone that just it goes out and watches the videos and just keeps asking, I keep directing them back to the video. Well, what about the products? Well, watch, step number 2. Well, what about the step number 3? How do I get step number 4? How do I get started? I keep on till they finally either get it or don't get it. And here's the thing you've got to be careful with is that we try sometimes so hard to get somebody on board and somebody a part of our team, and they become a pain in the butt. You love working with people, but the bottom line is that not all people are designed to do these kind of businesses. And some people are just, they think too much, and they become more of a challenge and more of a deterrent in getting your business built than anything else. You find you spend all of your time answering questions that they could just go find them out themselves, but they just don't want to do that. So I don't take a lot of time, John. I just don't. Okay. Haley Joe, if you had 1 or 3 tips, what would it be for people in our business? Mine would be consistency and duplication. Consistency and duplication would certainly be 3 of my biggest tips. I think that, it's, I'm looking at something right now. Here are 3 things that, I talked about the other day that might be helpful, Haley Joe, on one of my lives, is that I would say everybody needs to learn how to connect with people, how to edify their upline, how to edify somebody else, not be the deal. And then the last thing is they need to learn how to build people. So if I was going to give people 3 things that they should learn how to do, I would say that they need to learn how to connect with people, edify someone above them, whether it be their upline leader, the leader of the company, somebody that's got the credibility, and then learn how to build people. Chris Robinson. Is Chris Robinson here? Hey, Chris, if you're here, I don't see you. I just see Facebook user on some of these. Or you must be Facebook user, just said Stacy George Howdy. So, and I'm not sure where Ceally is at this point. We were messaging kind of, and I don't know if we've got the time messed up. But she has the link. So let me see what other questions we have. Thank you, Maria. Tina Joy, hey, good to see you. We've got all these people, and I apologize if I've messed up the time or something with Ceally. I apologize. I think she's run away. Haley Josephs. We've done one of these before, so we know each other. We've talked about it. She's an amazing, amazing lady. We talked a lot at the convention, and she's phenomenal. I don't know that she's ever used StreamYard before, which is what I like using now. And so, and she's on Central Time. She may have gotten the time. We may have gotten the time kind of mixed up or something. But I know that here, probably within a few minutes, she's going to get that we're on here, or she'll see it, and we'll go from there. So, all right, I'm looking to see if there's any more. Yeah, exactly. Maria says you want to sort through the ones that aren't able and willing to find answers themselves. Yeah. You're welcome, John. You're welcome. Lisa, what is your follow-up method? How often do you follow up, and when do you stop following up with an individual? If I've followed up with somebody 3 times and either they keep putting me off on watching the videos, I'm going to put him on a kind of a delayed list. And then I might not reach out to them again for, I don't know, a month, maybe a couple of weeks at least. Just because you don't want to make it seem like you're desperate, right? So I give them a couple of chances because I know life just happens, and they may have wanted to watch the videos, and then something happened with the kids, or they forgot they'd made it a date with their spouse and had to go out and they wanted to make sure that they honored that, and so just all kinds of things. And it's just you just don't know what it is that's causing them not to watch the videos when you're checking with them. So I give them 2 or 3 times, and then I put them on a kind of delayed list, and I might go back and reach out to them in a couple of weeks to a month, say, hey, just checking to see if your situation changed. I'd love to, share with you what's going on. It's going crazy and so forth. Yeah, 100%. Life just happens. It happens all the time. So, yeah, John, I love StreamYard. It is an amazing, amazing program, and it looks like Ceally's coming back to me right now. We'll see what she says. See, I told you, her phone died. So she's going to try and jump on right now. So let everybody know she's getting ready to come on here. That would be awesome, awesome. See, this is the difference between people that get, when things don't go exactly the way you want them, it is all about a choice. It's all about a decision. It's about not reacting, but responding. This could have been, one of those things that, oh no, what do we do? What do we do? And embarrassments and all that. But it's just something that happens. So this will be a story that we'll tell. So make sure let everybody know that she is getting ready to jump on. She just messaged me and said her phone had died. So, and could she still jump on? And I told her absolutely. And we'll see what she says here. She's coming on out. All right. Yeah. And let's see. Here she is. Up. You're sideways, Ceally. Up. Now you're upside. Now you're upside down. So there you go. There you go. So good to see you.
So sorry about the delay, you guys. Thanks for understanding and being so patient.
Oh, everybody has been great. We did a little Q&A before you got here, so that was awesome. So
nice.
Now, have you ever used StreamYard before?
I have not. No, this is my first time, so it was like making me go through all these hoops real quick, but that's okay. We got through it.
Yeah, and once you do it, it's a great little program because it allows us to share comments, and it records it and does all kinds of things. So we can do things like put people's comments up on the screen, and it's really a great program. So
yeah, I use Live. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with that.
Yep,
it's kind of similar. Be Live only can stream with Facebook and YouTube though, and I think this one can stream with others.
I'm streaming to 5 different places right now.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, all right. I've kind of given you an introduction of some sort. And Ceally, I've just got a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind, if you've got the time.
Yes, we do.
First is, I think a lot of people that are in my audience would just love to hear your story.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll be here all night, so I'll give you guys kind of like the short and sweet version. I'm a mother of 2, you guys. Was a single mom when I started this business, but are you okay?
Yeah.
My daughter's choking on water over here. So long story short, I'm, a hometown girl, country girl, grew up in a town of 111. I have 2 kids. Started my own business back in 2014 coming out of a divorce. And really my story, like I said, it's a story. It's a journey, just like all of your guys' stories. But what really led me to where I'm at today is just never giving up and ultimately trying to find a solution for my son. My son was vaccine injured in 2012. After he was born, he was probably about 11 months old. We almost lost him to a vaccine. And we really just have been down a road of self-discovery. And unfortunately, that led to us finding a solution with an alternative solution, which was CBD. He had a lot of heavy metals in his system and his brain. So we had to detox him from that. And truthfully, CBD was the key for my son. We were doing a lot of other alternative therapies with him, and it was really what helped unlock him to where he is today. And a lot of people want to know my story, but really it's just such a vast, amazing, big story that it's I don't really even know how to say it, but like with my son, the reason why I'm even where I'm at today is all because of my kids. I've done everything for my kids and literally just getting up every day and never giving up. Hey, Bodie. Hey, buddy. Sorry. Buddy, hey, let's not do that to the chair, okay? Bodie, please sit in the chair. Okay. So, you guys, my son has autism. He has anxiety, unclassified anxiety and ADHD. So, CBD wasn't the fix-all, but it was definitely something to help him get to that next level of quality of life for him. And I am a mom of 2, raising them still, to be the best versions of themselves, and I will always constantly be a bridge for them for that. And whether it be CBD or self-development or anything I do in my life, it's all because of my kids. Everything.
Well, one of the things, Ceally and I met, like I said earlier, back in October of 2018 at the convention. And then we sat on a couple of panels together on road shows. And one of the things that really drew me to her was her story and the passion she has, not for her own life, but for her children. And those of you who know my story, we have 6 kids and 13 grandkids, and our family is all about That's what we do. We do this because of our families. And I'm honored and blessed to be on this journey with you. If you
Well,
had, and you probably get asked this a lot, and I remember watching your interview with Todd, and that was phenomenal. But if you were going to tell somebody, a new person just getting involved in business, in any business, whether it's our company or any company, an online business, a home business, especially a single parent like yourself, what would be maybe a couple of things that you would tell them that would keep them in the game? Because so many times we get started and we get just barraged by so many things that we don't know are going to hit us, and we end up quitting. And you just continually keep going. 7-figure earner. I mean, it's just amazing what you've accomplished. So
well, I appreciate that. My biggest tip that I've given everyone is you got to keep it simple because our lives are already chaotic. And if you try to overcomplicate it or try to overdo it with too many things,
yeah.
I've had a lot of people come in and they're like, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this and I'm doing this. And it's like, you have to slow down and you really have to start at what works. The company has already put the base for us, and Ron and myself and other leaders have, certain trainings that we all recommend. For me, I created the system that Jenna created. Just follow the system, and I made it duplicatable. So instead of me trying to remaster the wheel that Jenna and Josh already did, I just didn't do that. In previous companies, I did. I always tried to make things better or do things different. And this time, I just reminded myself when I hit 10K, I was like, I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to just keep doing what works and just fine tune it, meaning in my skill set, in my mindset. So, like, my mindset when I started in this business, you guys, was hungry. My mindset and my skill set was my mindset was hungry, but my skill set wasn't the best. Like, I didn't know how to be a salesperson. I only really knew how to advocate for what worked. So I knew how to talk about it. But keeping it simple is just gonna, every time you start getting overwhelmed in the business, whether it be task at hand or talking to people, you have to remember simple is the key. If you're over talking or you're over, explaining things, you're gonna overwhelm people and people aren't gonna want to join because they're gonna be like, whoa, this person is like in my inbox, like blowing me up every day, or just data dumping on information. A conversation should be like a dance. Someone makes a move and then you make a move and then it's back and forth versus it being like, oh, I'm just going to dance up on you and make you feel all overwhelmed. And then you're going to run away because you're going to be like, this person is way too much. So like, I try to remind people that even today, everything is very simple for me. Like, when things don't go my way, I have to remind myself, like, a lot of it is out of my control. Like with my phone dying, like running around my new house trying to find a charger. Finally found one. And I just had to remind myself, like, is just take it simple. Like, you know what I mean? If, we're going to do this, everything's fine. So that's my biggest advice that I give to someone starting is keep it simple. If you're feeling overwhelmed, keep reminding yourself that simple task will get you farther than trying to do everything all at once.
yeah, one of the things that you said that I love is obviously keeping it simple, but you were almost like ignorance on fire. You didn't take a lot of time to learn everything. You just took your passion and your vision of what you saw that you were going, and eventually we developed the skills, and we've got to go beyond that ignorance on fire. But that's one of the things, and you and I have talked about this before, is that one of the things that we teach our people is use the system that's in place. Don't reinvent the wheel. Use the system that's in place, and what have they done? They've just made it 10 times better.
I know.
I mean, now it's phenomenal. So, so I hope those of you who are on here are new, understand exactly what she said. Very, very simple, but very, very powerful. Keep it simple. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Use that passion you have, that ignorance on fire. Don't throw up on people. Keep point guiding and directing them to the system that's out there. So that's amazing. All right, one last question because I know that you are, and Stacy had put up there. Just so you all know, she's one of 7 women that were honored in October at our 2019 convention in the new Seven Figure Club, and that's phenomenal because what Ceally has done as a 250K affiliate, she was up there with 500 and super affiliates. So
Yeah.
she has built that what that tells me is that you have built a solid business that's growing regardless of the rank advancements, which I 250K is on my list to get to as soon as possible. But to see you up there, and I think there was one other person that was in that same position, another lady.
Yeah,
Um,
Alicia.
Alicia was exactly, and so that's very powerful. So when someone like this gives you advice as a new person, whether your goal is I want an extra 500 or $1,000 a month, or whether I want to be a 7 figure earner, it's time to listen. It's time to 2 ears and one mouth and listen to what she's saying. So my last question is, what do you see for 2020? I'd love to just kind of
Oh,
hear what you see as, I mean, because to me 2020 vision and everything that it alludes to is amazing. So
yeah. 2020, are you saying what do I see for 2020 for the business or for what? Let's be specific.
yes, um
For the
for the business, for network marketing, for yeah, so
the
that makes
reason
sense.
specifically is because the word manifest um, is really kind of a word that some people are really comfortable with or uncomfortable with. And that's usually in my findings 50-50 of the time. Or some people don't even know what manifest means. So what I see for 2020 within the business is that there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable people that are uncomfortable with doing things within a business that are going to now become comfortable doing things in business. And a lot of what Jenna and Josh have already started for us is all there. And of course, there's always going to be people that are always going to say they could have done this differently, they could have done that differently. And, the energy that you put in, whether it be positive or negative, will be the outcome of your business. So if you're taking any energy to complain about customer service, about this country not being open, or whatever the case may be, you're doing a disservice to yourself. And one thing I chose to do when I started with the business was no matter what, I will not be negative. Because in prior companies, I would do that. And then that would be an excuse in that moment of why my business wasn't building was, oh, it's because of the business's fault, or oh, it's because of this, or oh, it's because of that. But really, it was just me giving energy to that. So 2020, just like 2020 vision, you're going to be coming into that awakening moment of, knowing what you're capable of. And a lot of people, like I said, it can be uncomfortable talking about it, or it can be comfortable talking about it. And I can tell you the thing that I did when I came into this business with no negativity, I shot for the moon. It happened. Anytime something negative happened, there was a silver lining, or I would give it a positive thank you to, okay, that happened, but I gotta get laser focused. So, but for the business, this will go down in history as one of being the best network marketing companies. And the reason why is because they're not your typical shakes and pills network marketing company. This isn't health and wellness. Like, they are the epitome of, not epitome, the pinnacle of what network marketing really needs to be and what it's evolving to become. Other companies are looking at this company and saying, how can we make our company better because of my daily choice? Not because, oh, we should have been better. They now have a real competition in the ring, and they are being woken up to that. Oh, now we have to pay more, or now we have to have products that really do work. So, and And it goes to really show the people that are really joining us now, they've really waited because they wanted to see us stick around. They want to see us be consistent. When you're hopping around from different company to company, nobody's going to join you because they're going to see that, and they're going to be either those type of people that are going to jump from business to business, and you're going to always be very non-foundational, like you're going to have a hard time being in your business. If you're constantly jumping to the next best thing because the grass you think is greener on the other side, you're never really going to be a part of the movement of making this company already what it is better. So, my prediction when I first started, you guys, they didn't even have customer service at all. Like, you had to email Josh, and Josh was so busy at the very beginning of when I started, like, you wouldn't even get an email at all. There was no Josh responding to you. But I didn't take that. All I did was just kept forth, and like you said, ignorance on fire. You guys, I had a life-changing experience with my son, and it literally drove me to want to help every special needs person out there that's going through what my son was going through. So, I mean, without getting uncompliant, because even then I was actually compliant back then, which is crazy to think about. Like, I was not on social media being like, my son has this medical diagnosis and you should take him for CBD. You guys, I was compliant back then because I foresaw it being, an issue in the upcoming. So I wanted to make sure everything I was doing was as compliant as I could be. And don't get me wrong, there's been times I've been involved with uncompliant people, and it's caused problems, but compliance has always been amazing, you guys. Anytime compliance has had an issue, they've brought it to me, and I've been able to fix it with them, and then we move on. They've never like kicked me out of the business or told me that I wasn't a part of the family anymore because I accidentally said something I wasn't supposed to. So, I mean, compliance is your friend. This business is exactly where you want to be. You don't want to be anywhere else. Stick to the course. Listen to your leaders, like I have done, and I still do. Like, I still listen to my leaders and the leaders in the company, and just stick the path. I mean, there's been times as a 250K, I've been like, okay, this isn't working anymore. And then I'm like, wait, nope. What did I just say to myself? And I have to get back on that course. You have to trick your mind constantly into being positive and knowing it's going to work out. If you're constantly on that sad side of things, it's never going to happen, ever. So we're not trying to make you buy you know, our journals or our how to do manuals. We're literally here for free on our own time, giving you free advice, telling you how to go do it. And now you have to physically go do it instead of just listening all the time. If you're on your computer and all you're doing is watching and listening, but you're not actually applying, you're doing yourself a disservice as well. So it's like, just keep bringing it back to what I said. Make it simple. Know you're in the right place. And that's really all you need to know.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I see 2020 as a year of change for a lot of people. It's a year of growth. I'm just flabbergasted that I'm here. We as kids, 2020 was like the Jetsons. We didn't know what it was going to be like in the 50s, and so now being here in the
I
2020,
know.
it's pretty phenomenal. But if y'all are listening to what Celia is saying, it's basically very, very fundamentals of being positive, always growing. But you cannot, we talk about personal growth and personal development all the time. But I love what John Maxwell talks about this. He says, you can do that all day long, but if you don't apply any of it, it doesn't mean anything. You've got to go from maybe it's a schedule, however you want to do it, but you've got to take the time to do the personal growth. But then you got to take the time to apply it and put it in. And you're going to have ups and downs. There's going to be things in your business that are going to kick you off kilter, and you're going to have challenges. We all have them. Now, I remember talking to Ceally in 2018. I think you had hit 250K, I believe, and the convention before that you were at 10K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no, I was a 5K.
So you went from 5K to 250K in a 12-month period.
Yep. less than 12 months. It was like, I think 10 months or 11 months, but that doesn't even really matter. Honestly, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for me going out and finding the people that really had more ignorance on fire than I did. I physically went out and came out there, whether it be on social media platforms or in the community. Like, I knew they were there. I just had to go find them. It was like almost going and finding gold. You know it's there. You just have to go dig for it.
Well, and that's just so true. And I think that though that growth is a measure, it's a measure of what you did. It's a measure of you not quitting, looking, digging for gold, always being in the game and not letting the negative things. Because we all, like I said, we all go through it. I wake up every day with, because of my open heart surgery and because of my shoulder, they're going to replace this. And I'm, I could give you every excuse in the world. When I got involved with this business, my family said, "What are you doing? You just had open heart surgery. You shouldn't be doing anything. You got to," but you can take those things and make them positive and make them part of your growth, or you can make them negative and be like everybody else. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. Well,
When I very
see,
first
oh, go
business,
ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
was in a Oh no, I was edifying you in that moment of going through. When I first started the business, I was in a emotionally and physically abusive relationship,
Mm,
and that isn't an excuse. I want to be relatable with people or other women or men that have gone through that, and they use that as an excuse to not be successful or not to be worthy. So if people are going through that, I want them to know that you absolutely can push through that and really come to a point of success in your life if you don't give up.
exactly. And you have to push through it. You have to push through it. You have to get to that other side of it. So
Yeah.
I know your time is very, very precious to you. Any final last words?
You
Because
too.
I could sit here all day long and pick your brain. So uh,
All I want to tell you guys is that just be patient with yourselves, whether you have to look inward, if something's going on with your mindset, then this is the time to do it. And if you want to work on as far as skill set, this is why you come to the leaders and they help you with skill set. They're going to tell you exactly what you need to hear and recommend the books that you need or the courses that you're going to need to go through to be able to break through that. This isn't all just about mindset. You have to have a skill set. You have to be this or that, or mold yourself into being a type of archetype for you, and to be able to be what you're ultimately trying to be. So I want to remind yourself, you have to take this as a journey. This is not going to happen overnight. It's taken me 9 years to get where I'm at today. And I have never fathomed that it was going to be this amazing. I
mhm.
mean, I had it on my dream board. I always talked about it. I could feel it. I nurtured the feelings. Uh, but it has turned out to be so much more than I ever really grasped. So that's all I really give to you guys, is don't ever give up or feel like you're giving up. Then reach out and ask for help.
Wow, I love that. It's no matter what you've gone through, it's worth it. And so much more than we think it's going to be when we get there. How many of you in nine
Oh yeah.
years from now would love to be making seven figures a year? Pay the price, right? Do what you need to do. So God bless you, Ceely. I am so honored and blessed. Every time I've reached out to you, you've said yes, and you amaze me. And I can't wait to see you on one of the road shows again. Be on that stage with you as a 100K affiliate,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
thank you so.
Congratulations.
Well, you are and have been quite an inspiration to me and to so many people on our team. So just thank you so much for all that you do.
Hey, my pleasure, Ron. You're definitely an inspiration to me as well. One thing that I've always taken from you, actually, from one of our road shows, is my favorite word that you have said, which was belief. When you said what you have is belief, and that like spoke so much I think that was a piece of word that I even forgot how crucial that is to have in myself. When we have little babies and we watch our kids grow, we want them to have the belief that they can do whatever they want in the world. Well, why don't we speak that to us? Why don't we do that back to us? Ron, I look up to you and your team. What you guys are doing is awesome. I'm so proud. Individually, you guys can reach out to me anytime. I'm literally obtainable. I'm not unattainable. So thanks so much for having me on, Ron.
Well, thank you, Ceally, and God bless you. Have an amazing, amazing week. Stay warm if you're cold, because where I'm at, it is freezing. So God bless you.
We will.
Bye,
All
everybody.
right. Bye-bye, everyone. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.